Vanakkam friends, I am Dr. Vanangamudi, former Dean Agriculture of Tamil Nadu Agriculture University, Coimbatore, and on behalf of Trinity Cultural Academy, Coimbatore, and New India Publishing Agency, New Delhi, welcomes all the agricultural and horticultural graduates as well as the life sciences graduates for the presentation on varietal release that comes under the plant breeding. And now look at the subject in particular, and there is an official release of varieties at central and state level. So the practice of official release of varieties started in October 1964 in India with the formation of Central Variety Release Committee at the central level and State Variety Release Committee at state level. In 1969, CVRC was taken over by the Central Seed Committee established under the Seed Act 1966. The Central Seed Committee constituted a central subcommittee on crop standards, notification and release of varieties for agricultural crops as well as horticultural crops to discharge the functions of release and notification, provisional notification, and denotification of varieties at central level. While the state seed subcommittee were asked to discharge similar functions for the release of varieties at state level. This is the flow chart showing the procedure for release of varieties at central as well as state level, and that is existing in India. And the national institutes like ICAR, the Indian Council of Agriculture Research, and non-ICAR institutes, they develop varieties like pure lines, OPVs, open pollinated varieties, composites, synthetics, and hybrids. Not only the National Institute, but also the state agricultural universities and state agriculture department, farmers, individual plant breeder, and private seed companies and industries. These five organizations are involved in the development of plant material, that is the varieties. Annual workshop, national group meeting of all India coordinated crop improvement projects, and they consolidated all these varieties, and that will be discussed in the annual workshop, and they will promote some of the best entries for three trials like initial varietal trial or initial evaluation trial, and advanced variety trial 1, advanced varietal trial 2, and these things we will be seeing in subsequent slides. And after the identification of the best performed varieties, it will be sent for the approval of Varietal Identification Committee, and that will recommend the variety to Central Subcommittee on Crop Standards, Notification and Release of Varieties constituted by the Central Seed Committee as well as the State Subcommittee by State Seed Committee. And on the recommendation based on all the good quality characteristics, not only the morphological characters but also the quality parameters, and the variety is released and that is notified in the central government gazette. That notified varieties come into the seed multiplication chain system, that is nothing but the seed law enforcement system to supply quality seed to the farmers. Now we can see what about the all India coordinated improvement projects that identifies the variety for release in its workshop before the variety is released and reaches to the farmers. The All India Coordinated Crop Improvement Projects have been created for almost all crops, not only the agriculture crops but also the horticulture crops. And this project will follow three-tier system of multi-location evaluation spread over a minimum of 3 years. During first year, the initial evaluation trial and initial varietal trial is being conducted, and in the second year the advanced varietal trial 1, subsequently in the third year the advanced varietal trial 2 will be conducted. First we will see what is mean by initial evaluation trial or initial varietal trial. And the entries to be nominated must have undergone critical evaluation and screening in the station trials conducted by the sponsoring breeder, maybe at the ICAR Institute or state agriculture universities. And the entries to be nominated must have high degree of phenotypic uniformity and genotypic stability. The initial evaluation trial is conducted across the zones all over the country along with check varieties. A minimum of 3 check varieties are to be used, and maybe from national check or zonal check or location check or qualifying check. All the trials are nominated by the are monitored by the team of scientists deputed by project coordinator to record on uniformity of crop stand, disease, insect pest resistance, bird damage. The monitoring team includes the team leader as well as the members. Team leader may be the project director or project co-coordinator, project investigator or zonal coordinator. And the members are breeders, agronomists, pathologists or entomologists, scientists from any other specified discipline, maybe from seed science and technology. And the second trial is the advanced varietal trial AVT1, and this is constituted by the entries promoted from initial evaluation trial or initial varietal trial on the criteria specified above. Limited number of entries, only 6 entries, not exceeding 16 entries is tested along with minimum 3 checks comprising the national check, zonal check and local check. All the entries are evaluated in a randomized block design with 3 to 4 replications at the different locations. Monitoring is done as done in IET or IBT. Besides agronomic and morphological observation, additional data may be generated on disease and insect resistance and quality parameters. Data received at the coordinated cell is critically examined for the inclusion in the annual report. Outstanding performance of yield variety by a margin of 10% over the best performing check is promoted to advanced trial 2. And let us now see the advanced trial 2. Same steps are followed as mentioned in advanced varietal trial 1. However, the additional data to be recorded and discussed during the workshop. This is more important. The response on date of sowing, population densities, weedicides, data on disease, insect pest, quality parameters, and abiotic stresses will be recorded, and that will be discussed. If the variety gives outstanding performance over the check, that is 10% margin, besides having all favorable attributes, then the proposal for identification of a given variety is submitted to the concerned breeder on a variety identification proforma specified by Indian Council of Agriculture Research. Now the next stage is the variety identification system. The proposal containing all available data for the variety is considered by the Variety Identification Committee constituted by ICAR, which will meet during All India Coordinated Improvement Projects during its workshop. Recommendations are made for countrywide release or specific zones or a particular states. Then the sponsoring agriculture university or research institutes submits proposal for its release and notification to central subcommittee. Once the central subcommittee accepts the proposal, the variety or hybrid is released for the specific state or zone or at national level. The release proposal also ensures the availability of enough seed stock. So at the time of release, the particular variety should have the enough seed stock that will be the responsible of the concerned plant breeder or the concerned sponsoring institutes or agriculture university. The organizational setup of varietal identification committee, it comprises of one chairman and 9 members, and DDG, Deputy Director General Crop Science, or her nominee is the chairman, and member secretary is the project coordinator or project director of All India Coordinated Crop Improvement Projects, the director of research of institute or SAUs of that region where the meeting is held is the member, and other members are Agriculture Commissioner, Department of Agriculture of a particular state, one nominee of seed organization, maybe from NSC or National Seed Corporation or State Seed Corporation, one representative of seed agencies, private seed agencies, one representative of crop-based industries, maybe the input industries, the project coordinator of seed science and technology, 2 eminent scientists of that institute, they are all the members. And the central seed committee, and again there is an organizational setup of the CSC. It comprises of one chairman and 9 members by the central government. The representatives are the secretary, the Department of Agriculture Cooperation, and the Farmers Welfare. Now it is renamed as Department of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. The Government of India is the chairman of the Central Seed Committee. Additional secretary in charge of seeds, the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Government of India is the members, and other members are the Agriculture Commissioner of Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Government of India, Deputy Director General Crop Science of ICAR, Joint Secretary in charge of seeds of Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Government of India. Progressive farmers are seed growers, and there are 4 members from progressive farmers and seed growers nominated by the central government, and other member is one representative from each state government. The member secretary of the Central Seed Committee is the director of National Seed Project, the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Government of India. The Central Subcommittee on Crop Standards, Notification and Release of Varieties for Agricultural Crops, it is appointed by the Central Seed Committee under Section 3 of Seed Act 1966. It was formed in 1994. The committee comprised of one chairman and 17 members, and this is the organizational setup. And the chairman of the Central Subcommittee on Crop Standards is the Deputy Director General Crop Sciences of ICAR. The member secretary is the Deputy Commissioner Quality Control, DAC and FW. Now it is renamed as Department of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Government of India. He is the member secretary, and other members are Director of State Seed Certification Agencies or their representatives, project directors of Department of Agriculture of all states or their representatives, project coordinators or directors of all India crop improvement projects, coordinate crop improvement projects, Agriculture Commissioner Government of India, representative from seed industry, National Seed Corporation, State Seed Corporation, private seed companies, and representative of ICAR institutes, non-governmental organization, and there is a member from Progressive Farmers. Now, after the release of variety, it should be notified after official release and may be suitable for state level or central level. Notification is made by the central government on the recommendation of the Central Seed Committee. It is made only by the central government. Proposal for notification of state important varieties are forwarded in the prescribed proforma, the format by the particular state government after its release in that state to the Central Seed Committee for consideration. So whatever the State Seed Committee recommends, the subcommittee recommends the variety, that should be notified by the central government only through the Central Seed Committee. And there is a difference between the notification and release of varieties. This is more important. As far as notification is concerned, the variety notification is a statutory function performed under the Seed Act 1966, while the release is not a statutory function. And to bring the seed of a particular crop or variety under a purview of seed law enforcement, mainly to empower the seed inspectors to regulate and verify seed quality by sampling and analysis, while in the release of varieties to make known the details of newly evolved variety to the public, and as well as the areas for which it is found suitable for cultivation. And in the case of notification varieties, there are a few advantages. Also, notification is compulsory for production of certified seed. So the assured supply of quality seed of notified varieties to the farmers. Assured supply, this is more important. Seeds of notified varieties can be sold after proper labeling and packing indicating a minimum specific seed standards. There are two types of specific standards. One is the crop standard and another is the seed standards. It curtails the biopiracy. Subsidies are being considered for the seeds of notified varieties only. It helps in the seed planning and programs at the policy level. And that's all about the central Varietal committee or central subcommittee that will be releasing the varieties at the state level or zone level. And look at the procedure for release of state varieties which performs only in one state will be treated as state variety which has been evolved either by the state agriculture universities or by individuals or by seed companies or organization or ICAR institutes of a particular state. Such varieties have to be considered by the state seed subcommittee of that particular state for release. Sponsoring authority intended to release the variety should furnish the relevant information in the prescribed proforma and submit to the co-convener of the State Seed Subcommittee for consideration and release of variety. Who is the co-convener of State Seed Subcommittee? That will be seeing in the subsequent slides. And the central varietal identification system, at state level also we have state varietal identification system. The state seed subcommittee is constituted by the central seed committee only, and the SSSC have been given responsibilities to set up state seed certification agency as well as a state seed lab, and as well as to appoint the seed analyst and seed inspectors. These are all the responsibilities of the state seed subcommittee, and it is also responsible for the release of variety on its own state on the basis of data generated by the state agricultural universities. Concerned breeder, along with agronomist, pathologist, entomologist, and biochemist, generation sufficient data, usually for more than 3 years, by conducting the trials. Sample varieties must be evaluated in All India Coordinated Group Crop Improvement Project trials. On-farm trial data for a year or two are collected by extension agencies of State Department of Agriculture or State Department of Horticulture and Plantation Crops. After having all the above information, the State Agriculture University deliberates on the release proposal of a variety in a series of meetings before recommending to the State Seed Subcommittee. Once approved by the State Seed Subcommittee for release in the state, variety is requested to be notified for seed production purpose by the Central Subcommittee. And State Seed Subcommittee for Agriculture Crops, and I can take the example of Tamil Nadu State Seed Subcommittee for Agriculture Crops. The chairman is the Agriculture Production Commissioner and Secretary to Government of particular state, especially Chennai. And the members are the Commissioner of Agriculture, Commissionerate of Agriculture, and Director of Seed Certification and Organic Certification, Director, Center for Plant Breeding Genetics of Tamil Nadu Agricultural University, Professor and Head, Department of Seed Science and Technology of Tamil Nadu or a particular state, Special Officer Seeds, now it is renamed as Director of Seeds, Tamil Nadu Agriculture University, Coimbatore, is also the member. The Regional Manager of NSC is also the member. Special Officer, Tudilur Cooperative Agriculture Society, Tudilur, Coimbatore, and Secretary, Tamil Nadu Seed Producers Association, Coimbatore. Additional Director of Agriculture Seeds, in charge of seeds, is the co-convener at located at the Commissioner of Agriculture at Chennai, or the Secretary, Central Seed Committee, Deputy Commissioner Quality Control, Ministry of Agriculture, the Family Welfare, New Delhi is also the co-convener. 3 progressive farmers or seed producers will also be nominated. And there is a critical difference between the Central Seed Subcommittee and the State Seed Subcommittee. Central Seed Committee is authorized by Central Seed Committee, while State Seed Subcommittee is authorized by the State Seed Committee, and it is concerned with the release of varieties for regional, zonal, at national level, while the State Seed Subcommittee is responsible for the release of varieties of the concerned state or the region within the state. Statutory body for varietal identification, while it cannot be notify varieties by the State Seed Subcommittee. Notification is followed by seed certification in the case of Central Seed Subcommittee, but certified seed cannot be produced without notification in the case of State Seed Subcommittee. The members in the committee are appointed by the central government in the case of Central Seed Committee. Members in the committee are appointed by the state government of a particular state with respect to State Seed Subcommittee. I hope that with this I am completing this presentation. Thank you for your patient listening. Kindly watch this video, give your like, share this video, comment on this video, my presentation, and subscribe the YouTube channel. Thank you very much.